Be bored about two mirror comps looking like this, Matt. Gamsu got hacked up there briefly, I think, where he was trying to play. Close to the pillar, breaking line of sight. Jinmu goes down a dink here early. Now, does Eviltile go for the resurrect? Does he even have the space to do so? Dink drops in. He has his rocket boost. Oh no, he doesn't! Oh, he had a chance to get up. Just hit shift, bro. Hadn't even done that. Even if he got hacked after using the boost, it would still have been fine. But that's a very classy way to deal with a Farah. DM under extreme pressure. Kyo finds it from distance. Cobra immediately going for the resurrect here. Shanghai are in control of the point, so use the resurrect, stall it out a bit longer, and maintain presence.
Yes, the Dragons are still preventing the Hunters from getting anywhere close here. Ameng does have his minefield, so you see him put that on the point.
Yeah, he's very low though, forced to use Adaptive Shield and back out. And realistically, Matt, that minefield does very little. He moves up onto the point, uses the minefield, perhaps hoping that the rest of his team would do something to force Shanghai into it. But really, he rocks up, throws some mines down, and then just gets
then just bounces. Yeah, I mean.
And now the mines are expiring, so that ultimate going by the wayside to a degree. Although, look, I mean, Wrecking Ball's ultimate is not always intended to be a fight winner, right?
So you do have EMP here, but you're just trying to catch like 2 or 3 players. So he connects with 2 there, I believe. So it's good enough to pick up those eliminations. Can you secure the point now?
2 kills, 2 supports down. DM still needs to be dealt with. He doesn't have a lot of healing available, but he doesn't need it if he's not being damaged. Amon now has to try and chase him down. Knocked him over the edge there. Deals with the Widowmaker. The point, though, still under control of Shanghai, Matt. And now with Gamsu's mines on there, it's a little bit more annoying for them to try and retain. Gamsu will stall this happily.
I mean, did you need that nano boost there onto Ameng? As he falls, so you don't even get anything out of it. You're not going to be able to even get the point.
The Hunters are no richer for that particular fight. And with Bacon Jack falling to Yongjin. Yongjin, by the way, putting a lot of pressure on backliners. I saw him backhand Kyo just a couple of moments ago with the shield bash. Doing a heck of a lot to control.
It's interesting the Hunters decided to run the Sombra instead of running like a, as you see, Yongjin playing the Brigitte, or like a Diva, let's say. It's now Elsa makes the change. Bacon Jack will switch over to the Sombra as well.
Luffy knows.
We're in one-fight territory here.
He's expecting Amon to try and push the point from the right side. I think he might have caught a glimpse from there. Yeah, surely. Sleep Dart should be at the ready, but he's focused more on just healing up Yongjin. There it is. So that one lands. But a reactive shield still used for the Wrecking Ball, so Amon's still okay. He's able to roll out of there. But Chengdu, because they don't have a Reinhardt or a static shield tank, they don't have the ability to just walk up and get presence on the point. So now they're split, and this is exactly what Ding wants. Going after one after another, barrage. And there was nothing he could have done about it. Any has also been removed. And we kind of thought this could be a bit of a trap game for the Chengdu Hunter. Looking absolutely solid on the Lijiang Tower.
And you know, with the strong Farah play, it forces the Hunters to change their comps. They can't have Elsa flex over to things like the Sombra. They need the hit scan. They need the Diva to play, which really it makes some of their compositions difficult to pull off.
Gamsu always looking smug out there. The chef cooking up some goodies for the Dragons at CMAP 2 in just a moment.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Thumbs up. No C9s today. I mean, you can't C9 on... well, you can actually, I guess.
You
on
could.
Control.
Yeah, no,
Didn't walk off the payload.
Definitely possible. So I'm just wondering, what adjustments do you have to do if you're the Hunters? Is it, lineup-wise? Is it just changing more compositions? I believe we do have subs for both teams coming into this map.
Yeah. And we'll see. We're generally used to Shanghai making substitutions sort of between map 1 and 2 and so on and so forth. But it's Yong Xiaolong coming in here for Bacon Jan. The first time we've seen him on the Overwatch League stage. People have sort of talked about, I've seen him at the arena, I'm going to see him soon. And this is a very highly regarded DPS player. If you remember Miraculous Youngster over in the Chinese scene, who are a very strong team, he hails from them, and Gregory subs in for DM.
Gregory usually comes in for like maps 2, so no surprise to see her come in the game. So DM goes out. So we do still have Ding in the DPS role though, still in the game. So and then Youngjin as well. So we'll still be able to make some compositions coming forward, as it seems like players just trying to get their settings right. Get into the second.
Well, yeah, after they come onto the stage, there's a couple of things for set up. For Yang Xiaolong, for example, he
hasn't played at all.
On stage. Really highly regarded DPS player. Known for his McCree, his Tracer, he plays a bunch of Reaper as well. It's been a while waiting, I think, for a lot of Chengdu fans to see him hit the stage. And again, they've just produced out of seemingly nowhere another top-level Chinese player.
Well, I know if you're struggling to deal with the Pharah play, you may as well bring in your best hit scan player, right? So Paris will be map number 2, so we have not seen. Don't believe we've seen the Hunters play this yet.
No, because we would have casted it.
Yes, you don't know what kind of looks. Maybe you see the Symmetra again, like how they kind of ran on Hanamura. We'll have to see. It looks like, at least for now, they'll be on defense. I wonder if they run this, like 3 damage dealers with an Orisa solo tank on the defensive.
This is an interesting look, because neither of these teams have played this map yet. Yang Xiaolong on the defensive Junkrat, Elsa Tourbillon is not a meme. That's real.
No, I mean, it's legit. And I think it would be kind of what they want to do, I guess, is set up the turret around the Orisa, and then it's really difficult to dive the Orisa and get it off the position because of the turret, because of the Junkrat, and then Jinmu at range. You can just land rockets playing the Pharah. So, see, they actually have the turret a little bit further back, so it would get like LOS on where Ameng is set up, and you also have it protecting Kyo as well.
Might make it a little bit riskier to try and flank around that point. We'll see here. Oh, straight away, Ding must have been caught in a trap there. Yang Xiaolong just throws in that remote mine to finish it off, and switch to a 3.
A lot of poke damage that's going to come down though from the Hunters. I mean, they're getting through these chokes. It's going to be costly. You're going to give. Look at Jinmu already at 60% and counting towards the barrage.
That's such a nasty bio.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough.
Well, again, you've got damage coming from weird angles, right? Not only do you have Jinmu from above, but also quite often you'll see Elsa or any Tor player throw the turret at an off angle. But again, like I kind of mentioned it when they played against Washington, because that turret got like 7 final blows on King's Road, that it can feel like sometimes a 7th player. Consistent source of damage that requires some attention.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, this map's not like a Temple of Anubis where you get past that first choke and it kind of opens up a bit. There's multiple routes you can take. It's more like Hanamura, where like there's this singular choke. You can go towards this left door. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Hanamura in a way. So you see the rocket barrage used there. You hit 1. This is a dead push for the Dragons, but I don't know if you're going to be able to just keep barreling through here. Especially because you need to get to that platform to use the grab.
That's right.
In any type of situation.
And look, defenders on this map don't have a huge amount of high ground, but they have a little bit.
No.
And it will still allow you to play an Orisa Junkrat style. I mean, on Temple of Anubis, this composition wouldn't have Tourbillon, it would have Widowmaker instead. Yeah. But the concept is the same. So this has now precipitated a switch from the Dragons, which makes sense. Ding can pressure, get rid of that Tourbillon turret if he gets the right angle around the Orisa shield and doesn't have to worry too much about Yang Xiaolong.
But is this the good old falling into the Hunter's trap of trying to play the Hunter's game? Wow.
It could be. We haven't seen much of Gregory Sombra so far, so that's going to be interesting. It's a nice little mix-up. She is, of course, a flex player on this team. Yongjin Hanzo. Well, that one is definitely a bit newer. So Yang Xiaolong goes down early. Ding deals with him well. Farah's a natural predator for Junkrat. 2 for 2 trade, though, as Gamsu has gone down.
The nano boost goes over to the Tourbillon, as usual. Elsa able to pick up 1. The turret picks up another one. So that will be a fight win for the Hunters. It was a nice roll through from Gamsu. He is actually able to knock down 2 players off of the lower bridge. And was able to result in some kills for the Dragons, just not enough to be able to make progress on the point.
Gregory wrapping around the backside. So is Gamsu here. So a 2-pronged attack setup seems to be the plan. Yang Xiaolong would like to put a stop to this early. So if he can blow up one of these pincer arms like that. Oh, he gets 2! Oh, he got both for them. I don't even think Gregory was revealed there. I think he just got that one for free. Well, sometimes you high roll, Matt.
And I mean, now you're going to have to wait. You will have Valkyrie and Nano here.
Youngji Doomfist, man.
With the Doomfist into the Junkrat, the Orisa, and the Torbjorn. I mean, maybe you're just playing the Doomfist for the one-shot kill potential, but I mean, you see, like, what is the Doomfist going to do in this situation? Like,
not a lot. Forced to punch away for some mobility here in Shanghai.
Yeah, I mean,
don't look great on this map so far. They got 15 seconds left to make something happen, but look at this, they're out of position. Koma now being pressured. Jinmu, you know what? I was expecting him to barrage that. That's the kind of thing he would do, but Youngjin's gone down, so that Doomfist, again, didn't really have the desired impact. Resurrected, Jinmu thinks twice about trying to barrage the corpse, I'm sure. And Gamsu was so low. Luckily for him, no one's looking at him right now, so he's able to sneak up on that right side. And there it is, the Molten Core. There's a sea of cheese the Dragons have to wade through, both in composition and the way the point looks right now. Koma wrapped on the right-hand side. Yang Xiaolong is just wrecking them. Gregory forced to switch back towards the D.Va towards the end of that round, but it did not work. And the Dragons, after such a good start, Matt, now find themselves very close to losing map number 2.
I mean, good debut from Yang Xiaolong as you know, picks up 9 final blows there. 2 Riptire kills playing the Junkrat. So I know the Junkrat Torbjorn combination, sometimes you look at it, you just start like laughing a little bit inside, but the Hunters always seem to make it work, man. The Pharah play, Jinmu strong again, doesn't drop on that half.
I have to be pleased with that particular result. The Hunters, especially when we know how strong they are on the attacking side. Let's see if they have to break a bunker or something else. Finding out in a couple moments.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Chengdu Hunters found their defense, Matt. In their matches previously, sometimes that's been an issue for them, but this gentleman on screen as the newest addition, or at least the newest to hit the stage for the Chengdu Hunters, had a very solid performance in the Junkrat. 9 final blows, 1 death, accounting for a good amount of his team's damage, about 8k damage per 10. I think it's about 21 to 2% of his team's damage.
Hero damage in the first half, so you had Jinmu and Yang Xiaolong combined for almost 60% of the team damage on Pharah and Junkrat. Looks like here for the Dragons, they got to make a pretty strong hold here. I think this map has actually a really long walk back for the defenders to get to point A. So I think any type of like trickle scenario definitely heavily favors the Hunters, especially if they play like something like what they have right now, where it looks like to be a fast composition that can dive, get to the point quick. So it looks like the Dragons are going to make an attempt here to play something that the Hunters would play. So they got the Bastion, the Torbjorn out, the Pharah, with the solo support with Koma playing Mercy.
Yeah, I like that. So it's the Bastion instead of the Junkrat that Chengdu for. Chengdu, slightly different composition, but the idea is the same, right? The Bastion or Junkrat is just there to blow people up, you know, deal most of the damage, or at least be a threat that everyone is trying to get rid of. That's when someone like Ding or Yongjin even can get damage done when they're not being focused out.
Okay, so this is, remember the last week? Oh, okay. Remember the last week? Oh, okay, completely different look. So last week they ran into a composition like this, the Hunters, and they were not able to break it. And they ran like a Sombra Tracer Genji. Now they're going to keep Jinmu on the Pharah, and they're going to run quad DPS. So solo support with Evitel, and you're going to have Ameng play the solo tank here, playing Wrecking Ball.
Yan Xiaolong, just a turret, guys. Getting rid of that obviously will be helpful, but Yongjin can put it right back up again. Luffy very low here. Shield gone. He has to back away. He can't escape. Elsa comes in with a melee. This is the opening the Chengdu Hunters were trying to make this whole time, and it didn't take them very long, I'll be honest with you. Jinmu's down to Gregory, but there's two people on the point. One tick is all they need. Gregory has to throw herself at there to keep it going. But Amon just barrels into her. D-suits Luffy down now as the rest of the Hunters start to turn their attention to the point properly. Gregory, in Mini Diva form, gets the kill on Yan Xiaolong. Don't know how that happened, but it doesn't matter. Chengdu Hunters still get a pretty quick cleanup on Paris, making for a very quick map number 2 and 1-all in the series, Mats.
Yeah, I mean, this one not too close. The Hunters put down 19,000 damage over the course of this map to the Dragons 7K. Just there, big disparity in favor of the Hunters. So they steamrolled through map number 2.
No doubt about it. Half-time, I'd be interested to see how they break down, especially the control map. There wasn't as much to see on Paris, safe to say. But we'll be back with that breakdown and more Overwatch right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. We got a good one to close out the night. It was the Dragons on our first map, but here you see the tire. Is that YXL? Yeah, he's in the game and he's already causing problems. Big two-piece helps tie this one up at the half. Welcome, everybody. It's Puckett. And we got a shock sandwich between Josh and I. Yes!
Certainly do.
Sinatra and Super, you saw them on the stage. They walked away with a 4-0 today, and they were happy enough to join us here for halftime. So thank you guys for coming in. And we wanted to get you because, Super, you're a nasty main tank. And Sinatra, you haven't been able to play Tracer this year. You're just constantly tanking as well. So we expected a lot of tank play to focus on in this first half.
There wasn't.
It's been all DPS.
No, there wasn't.
So much DPS. Let's go to Lijiang Tower. This is where it all started. And just talk to me about these Shanghai Dragons DPS duo. Ding and Diem put up 61% of the team's damage.
Yeah, Ding, like, his fair is probably the best in the league right now, just because he plays it so much and they practice it so much. And I don't know.
Sombra.
Yeah, and his Sombra is really good.
I can tell that you watch my stream because that's what I always say.
I don't watch your stream.
I think you just,
I don't watch your stream.
You just get it all from me.
No, I don't think so.
That's how I know.
Exactly. As we take a look at some of the highlights, you can see the work they were doing. It was a Reinhardt battle to start things off. We saw Ameng coming in for the Hunters on the other side. Of course, it was.
I think Gamsu's Ryan got a lot better than it did last season, because last season everyone like made fun of him for his Ryan says, oh, he's a Winston one trick. But I actually think he got a lot better this season.
Yeah.
Something that I always wonder when I look at Chengdu play, and I see how good Ameng is as well on the Wrecking Ball, and obviously Ryan's actually pretty decent now as well, is we've never seen him play Winston, even in contenders. Like, how is it he not being punished for that? Do you just not need to play it at the moment?
I mean, I guess when you're like Chengdu and your teams don't know what you're going to play, you can just play whatever and hope it works. I mean, it's a pretty, like, if they don't know what you're going to do, then you can do anything. like, there's just no convention with this team. They just do whatever they want.
Sinatra, for the Dragons today, did you expect them to be running such DPS-heavy comps? What were your expectations knowing that Chengdu would be facing off against the Dragons later?
Oh, I only expect DPS from Shanghai. I mean, we scrim them, and Ding is like actually nasty at every DPS hero. So
every DPS, which one's the scariest to play against as a tank?
Farah, for sure. Farah, yeah.
All day, every day. In the second map, things didn't go so well for the Dragons, though. Chengdu shows off. YXL comes in, causes problems on the Junkrat, but
the Goats was an interesting pick here. The 3/3 tanks support, but I mean, because they're going into Farah, Junkrat, and then they just kind of got flattened. I mean, the Torb turret was uncontested. They just got run over.
It seems like the top three teams at the moment are trying to play as much like triple tank, triple support Goats as possible. But when you're playing against a composition like this, I mean, you would have to switch off. What do you think is the answer to a combo like this, though?
I mean, I think you can make different things work. But it's really hard to run Goats, so I think you probably want to go more like spam, so you can like break down the Orisa shield, and then that way you can like move into position better. Because if that Orisa stays up there, then the Junkrat stays up there, and you take too much damage.
Or you can like Goats with Baptiste.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
like
you guys have been playing a ton of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really good when people are playing like Bastion, Junkrat, stuff like that, like bunkering comps, and you can just like rush them really hard with the Mortality field.
Now, we got lunch with you guys earlier today, and the one map you said you were looking forward to was King's Row. You wanted to see King's Row in the second half. That's coming up on the other side of the break. Why is that? This whole front row is so pretty. Why did you guys want to see King's Row? What do you have? Why are you excited for map 3?
So we scrimmed Shanghai a few times, and I don't want to leak their strats, but
they're nasty.
Yeah, they do some nasty things on King's Row. Yeah. Very non-conventional.
So Sinatra, let's get the prediction. Who closes this one out? Is it the Dragons or the Hunters winning today?
For sure.
You're going Shanghai?
I think Shanghai.
Okay.
I think Shanghai.
With that said, Shanghai fans lining up here in the Blizzard Arena. With that said, let's take a wider look, though, at Stage 2, because the Hunters are off to a blistering start. They're 2-0 right now. They have a chance to make it 3 straight. Looking forward, they've got the Gladiators, they've got the Spark and the Spitfire at our Dallas homestead, and they close things out against the Valiant. So of those 7 matches, how many do they win?
I think they're only winning Valiant.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
So Bren reckon they go undefeated this season as well. Is he just buying into the Ameng hype too much?
I mean, they do have a pretty tough skill. I think Gladiators and Spitfire especially are going to be hard for them. I think Spark's winnable and Valiant's winnable, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. All right, on the other side, you picked the Dragons to win it today. Let's take a look at their remaining Stage 2, because they're the opposite.
They started 0-2, a weak start here, but you had to go up against some juggernauts. From here on out, you play the Mayhem, the Outlaws, the Justice, the Shock. You said that maybe we would see 4 wins for the Hunters, if not definitely 3. How many wins for the Dragons out of 7?
I think if the Dragons win today, they'll win 4 matches and then lose to us, obviously. But then...
I think they win all and then lose to us.
Yeah.
Feeling good about it? All right, give me a player to watch each for the second half. Who you guys keeping eyes on?
Ding. And
I'm gonna say Amon, just because he's nasty.
Yeah.
Everything he does is inspirational. I look up to him. It's just flashy and creative. I don't know what to say.
All right, well, we got our predictions from our pros. Blizzard Arena, can we give a big cheer to our Shock men? We've got Sinatra, we've got Super, and when we come back, it's still the Hunters taking on the Dragons. A Game 3 coming your way after this.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Debut of a new player, Yang Xiaolong for the Chengdu Hunters, propels them to a second MAC victory. They look very comfortable in there, and we actually had Danny Lim speak during halftime over towards the Shanghai staff, and they just said we were not ready for what we had coming at us on the map of Paris, especially with Yang Xiaolong coming in. We didn't know what to expect from how they were going to set up the team bumps, and they were caught off guard. I'm just repeating what they said, bro.
We've seen them run like Arisa, Torbjorn, like this is.
But they haven't played Paris yet. They have no Paris tape to go.
That's classic Hunters, though. I mean,
what is classic Hunters? They like get the list of heroes and they just like hit the keyboard on the head a couple times and whatever they get is like what they're playing.
Hey, I love it. I love it when everybody's thinking like, oh, we can play, triple tank, triple support. Like you saw, like the Hunters really kind of threw them for a loop. When I know like the Shock guys are talking about it, it's so confusing whether they swap the Dragons to triple tank, triple support on offense, and they just get rolled because there's nothing that you can do. I mean, you're running into so much damage with the Junkrat and the Pharah.
I mean, there are situations where 3-3 does not look very good. That was one of them. So, DM is back. Degri subbed out briefly. The Dragons hoping just to get this game back under their control. Talking to Super and Sinatra, as we heard from them during a halftime show. Thanks, guys, for joining, by the way. They definitely felt that Shanghai was still the dominant team map. They felt like King's Row was one of those maps where you really might see something spicy. Hey, I'm all about them fire noodles. Bring it.
Right now, this for the Dragons, it just looks like a little bit of an old school defense with the Junkrat Widowmaker setup. So when you see Diem come in, you know his Widowmaker's pretty nasty. So you throw him out on that hero as
the Roadhog on defense is kind of interesting. We saw teams play a lot of it on offense. Shield pressure, get that first pick, run over the point. I don't mind it though, especially if you're worried about Tracer, Sombra getting into your back line.
Here we go. Elsa.
Okay, we've seen this before.
Teleports his buddies all over the map.
Now, last time he teleported them off to the right. We'll have to see if he chooses to do that again, or will actually. Oh, they're going to play on the point. This is a variation. He's changed the formula, man.
And then he just probably turns his back and throws the turrets out.
Oh my gosh, they just got clapped, Matt. Oh, the biotic grenade. That was gross. Luffy just jumped straight up on top of them with that.
I mean, they get to the point. They just get absolutely slaughtered once they get there. But
well, that's great if it's a marathon, but it's Overwatch. not about just getting to the point.
Yeah. So Elsa will get his Sim ultimate off of this, the photon barrier, the big barrier they can put in the way. So all right, here we go. Jinmu wants to go with the offensive Junkrat now.
Yep. Well, Shanghai know all about that one.
Inspired by the Dragons.
I mean, okay, if he gets teleported into a spot where he can get bad value out of it, like the right-hand side, maybe that's a decent... Barry goes up and, well, they've already lost Evil Tal and Jinmu early in that fight.
Yeah.
Looks fancy, Matt. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors, you know? I like the trimmings, but...
Well, so here's the issue. When the Sim teleporter comes out, you know they're going to go through it. So Ding just spams the teleporter. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, come on.
Well, the problem with that is that they can't get the immortality field up quick enough. It could be because, maybe Kyo didn't go through the teleporter early enough. Maybe you should have gone through first. There is a bit of a time delay on that actually being effective. And they lost 2 players before that even went down.
All right, so Jinmu goes in. Dies immediately on the Genji, but some changes. Ameng goes over and he'll play Wrecking Ball as Elsa switches over to D.Va. So something a little bit more conventional here for the Hunters. Lots of ultimates available here for the Dragons use. Both support ultimates if they need.
Yang Xiaolong going to start stalling out the point. In fact, he actually gets rid of DM early. Now what do the Dragons work with? They really need to get Ding in a position to do some serious damage. And he's going to try and do just that. Sending himself airmail in the direction of the Chengdu Hunters. Also got hit with a biotic grenade there. Was actually able to withstand the damage. But Shanghai have moved on the point. And what do you do about this composition that plays around Orisa? With Supercharger up and with the Valkyrie there, it's very hard for Chengdu to find an opening.
The Hunters do get over the line, and they do get the second tick. So some ultimates used here for the Dragons. Now if you come back and you're the Hunters, you'll have a nano boost here, which... with no Dragon Blade, probably goes over to the Wrecking Ball player, and then you also have an EMP that's going to be available.
Yeongjin playing quite close to DM here, expecting someone like Jinmu or someone similar to try and jump on the Widowmaker. Then he can throw the hook in and get the kill. Just like that one. Yang Xiaolong caught up by that one, forced the translocate out. Now he has an EMP. It's a couple seconds before he could even translocate in, even if he wanted to. Amon's put to sleep. That's the EMP, but it only catches on towards Koma and Gamsuk here. So those two need to be removed immediately. And they are, surely enough. Koma's able to get alive there, but Ding gets rolled over the top of. And Chengdu will be able to take the point now, but that EMP was really what got the job done.
Yeah, it was huge. The EMP, they're able to use the nano boost on Ameng and get in there, make a play as Yang Xiaolong will switch over and play Zarya now. So a triple tank look here for the Dragons. Nothing too, for the Hunters, nothing too crazy for the Dragons.
Triple tank Genji. That's the thing.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, maybe you're setting up for a nano blade, but you're not really close to the nano, so...
Brickless Hunters now into the next fight. Yeongjin having already switched here. Ding, he couldn't do anything about that, but Jinwoo is out to get the Dragon Blade, gets Luffy as well. That's 2 for him. Straight on in.
Oh, he gets the tire.
Ding going for the rip tire, that's right. Jinwoo caught it, and he didn't just dash through the tire, Matt. He actually destroyed the tire with a swing of the Dragon Blade.
All right.
Talk about flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, that's why you play the triple tank Wrecking Ball main tank with the Zarya and the Genji.
I've seen the light.
Look, sometimes it's okay for things not to make sense and work. That's okay.
That is also how metas are developed, so...
Yeah.
Who thought that Reaper and May would be such a great combo?
Now, I don't know if that will be the meta, but sure.
Kyo, yeah, pretty much got himself a nano boost off of that body grenade. Throws a sleep dart in. That one didn't connect, and he gets shattered as a result. Had he hit the Rhine, that shatter may not have come through, but the shield was up for Gamsu, and then he drops the hammer. Backing up here now, gets himself a Zarya bubble that makes him safe enough to try and charge back in the direction of the rest of his team, but Luffy's down. Yang Xiaolong missing. Gamsu gets hit by a sleep dart this time, to be sure. But Kyo is only able to get that Reinhardt, and they're going to be forced back by Shanghai.
You know, I tell you what, the Hunters may have fought that a little bit more. If Yang Xiaolong stays alive, they actually almost get Gamsu down, and if they get Gamsu down before Ameng falls, they probably turn around, shatter right away, and you have a chance to actually keep that going if you're the Hunters. But you lose just a few more players. Ding now with his EMP. EMP, Graviton Surge here available for the Dragons.
It's going to be crippling, this EMP. Pretty simple there. Early grab, I like that from Yang Xiaolong.
Oh.
Maybe they're expecting to go into an EMP because that one did not look good. Only Elsa and Jinmu got hit by that, and then it's a big Earth Shatter. Everything going well.
He gets booped up, and he gets a little bit too high, and he actually only connects with Elsa with that EMP.
Remember, EMP isn't infinite range. It operates like a sphere around the Sombra. So if you aren't close enough to the ground, then you won't catch people in that. Only two. And if you're hitting Elsa and Jinmu, and you're not hitting Yang Xiaolong or any of the supports, or the other supports, that's good.
I would love to know who hit him there. Was it Elsa bumping into him with the mech? That kind of makes the most sense, because Elsa's the only one that gets hit with that EMP there.
Most likely. Gamsu low, gets himself a Zarya bubble here. Okay. Oh, they throw out the Graviton Surge. Jinmu's gone down now as well, so this is definitely where you capitalize as Shanghai. Asleep, not really an issue for DM. He probably needs to recharge his batteries anyway. Rally, nano boost for Chengdu. Elsa switching to the Sombra now. I mean, yeah, can't blame you. Nice to see, more of that Ding Sombra come out. We actually pointed out a few weeks ago that Ding was not able to get much out of that EMP. In fact, Shanghai were losing fights on average more when they use that EMP.
Yeah, we watched him play against the Fuel, and they now look great in that one.
They kited his Sombra, made it hard for him to get into range. That's the Graviton Surge here for the Chengdu Hunters. 1 kill is good, but they might need a little bit more than that. Luffy did use a Transcendence, and there is Yongjin going down. And that will be Luffy going down in just a couple moments. Comb will try and skip away. He does. He has that sound barrier for the next fight. So the Dragons are well positioned here, at least in terms of having an EMP coming.
I think what you can try and do if you're the Hunters is get Elsa to get a hack off on a Gamsu here, then land a big shatter. They have to kind of play in this open space. It's like, what kind of angle can Elsa get to get this hack off?
Not many, maybe from above, Matt, but it's pretty likely Gamsu. Oh, they don't need a hack! That's huge! Gamsu gets knocked to the ground. Yongjin there as well. Two very important players were connected with there. The problem was there was a sound barrier still in effect, and with no EMP, the Hunters couldn't really take that off the table. I like that, though. I like them Earth Shatters with no setup, but there's only 10 seconds left now for Chengdu, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Jinmu's going to be the one who has to get a touches. He's playing Wrecking Ball. He gets knocked back. Yeah. He may not get there. There's a grab. It looks like everybody's locked up.
Oh, Jinmu was living the absolute nightmare there. Not only he charges in, he gets shield bashed, he gets whip shot backwards by Brigitte, then he gets hacked, then he gets stunned again. Tough stuff for the Hunters to get back to the point and not quite finishing off the map. Now, we're still waiting expectantly to see this special source that the Dragons are supposed to be bringing here on a King's Row, Matt. That might be something that we get to see on their attack now. We're heading to the break in just a moment here. Give the teams a chance to swap sides. 0 time left in the bank. Chengdu not finishing the map. Let's see if Shanghai can exceed that length.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And we are back here in King's Row. Second half about to kick off, and the Shanghai Dragons, it's up to them to attack now. With Chengdu failing to finish the map. Shanghai, in theory at least, know exactly what they have to do, and by comparison, it's not the toughest push on a map like King's Row.
We've seen what Elsa's Torbjorn turrets, though, do on King's Row.
More than I expect.
More than the normal. As standard hunters here on D. Arisa, Torbjorn, Widowmaker with the Pharah.
Do they run this double main tank setup here with the Roadhog map?
It's like double dive tanks with, I mean, the Hog, good to sit the point. The double dive tanks to make an issue. So,
no. They switch off that. It could be because of the Pharah sort of setup.
So what you could do is like with the pile driver of Wrecking Ball to knock people up above the shield, kind of like how a halt works, and then the hooks could come through.
A little bit harder to set up than a halt and putting your tank at more of a risk, but still. What Gamsy's doing, he's just seeing the sights right now.
He's chilling.
Sitting in that back corner. There's no real spot Gamsy can stand here without being shot by someone, but he's okay to absorb a bit of damage if it lets his teammates get in position. Ding currently wrapped in quite the duel up against Jinmu. One more shot will get the job done, and he's very low. Oh, there it is. Ding gets the man. And Evil Tail going to go down as well. Youngji was able to find that, likely off the back of a hook, and the Chengdu Hunters already looking much worse for wear. Youngjin, that's a face full of shrapnel for Amon. I don't think he can make a meal out of that one.
That Ding Pharah is wild. I mean, just in that first fight right there, 11 rocket direct hits. That's nasty.
I wonder why you switched the a Mei into a composition that does feature a Roadhog.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
Mei gets hooked, she dead. Well, this happens as well. Things like it's fine. I don't have to do damage. I've got other DPS on my team that are doing it. They're fine on their own.
Like, if Jinmu wanted to as well, he can play a really sick Hanzo. We haven't seen him play as Hanzo in a bit. Like, Elsa's in trouble. Yep, there he goes.
It's a very late stagger.
So now Jinmu plays the Brigitte. So this is a traditional comp. Triple tank, triple support, based around the Reinhardt here for the Hunters. But I feel like the Hunters are getting a taste of their own medicine here today, right?
I feel like the Hunters are the ones that are running out of ideas, Matt. So the Shanghai bring in something a little bit different, and they don't know what to do about it.
Well, it's usually the Hunters who force the opposing team to like switch and play 3-3 and just kind of abuse them with all the damage dealers. Today, it's been the Hunters who are trying to fall back on the damage dealers and not play their own game versus
look, this is
the Dragons.
Shanghai are playing decidedly a Chengdu-esque composition with the exception of the Roadhog. And damn gets through there. That was a headshot on Jinmu.
They're not even going to contest this on the second point.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
The card's already there.
Yeah, you know who's sitting on the payload this whole time? Luffy.
He's
that whole second stage got completely cancelled out.
Phenomenal play.
With 5 players, Shanghai were able to camp Chengdu deep within a phase that they shouldn't even really be playing in right now. So no second phase whatsoever for Chengdu. That's completely denied. How do you come back from that?
Luffy would be the guy in like rank to like raise his hand, like, guys, look at my objective time. Look, I did it. I won the game for us. DM with another kill here on Nikios. This one has not been close.
See, this is what happens with Chengdu when things start to get out of hand. That chaos that drives them takes them over and makes it impossible for them to regain control in this game. They've let it consume the map. And we're supposed to be using it against their foes.
They're not going to have another defense from point A all the way through the rest of that. They haven't got near the cart.
This map's all but over now. Amon trying to get in there and do some work, but Gamsu playing pinball with him, knocking into the opposition Hammond, making it a little bit harder for Amon to touch the point at all. Evil Tail and Elsa are there right now, and DM has to deal with Amon, who's pressuring a little bit. But I mean, he loves to be in this position, Matt. Sat behind the payload, nice and safe. Young Chao Long, no. The McCree switch, he's known for it. Finally able to curb the enthusiasm of the Dragons.
Yeah, and Koma pops a Valkyrie here towards the end, so you expect a switch up here for the Dragons, as they do not have much further to go, like less than 5 meters. I mean, the payload's moving back, but
this is a comp that essentially, I'm glad that Yang Long switched to McCree there. McCree not going to do a hell of a lot against 3-3, even if it was like 2-3 with a Sombra.
So now they swap back. Ryan 3-3 versus Ryan 3-3. Except Ding going to play Sombra here.
They had to use a repair pack on Luffy right now. A bit more damage on Gamsu will allow the Dragons or the Chanas to get a little bit more aggressive here. Support ults from both sides. Rally used by Shanghai to come forward now. And Gamsu, there it is. He couldn't stay alive. Even with that rally healing, that was about all they had. Ding hits EMP, but it's a little bit too late to make a difference in this fight.
But I think that's what you're playing around for the Dragons. Like, you come in with a big EMP, you land a Shatter, and the map is yours. I mean, you have 3 minutes to make this work. As we can take a look. Young John Long's McCree highlight here. He's able to pick up 3.
I don't think he knows who he flashed there, but it doesn't really matter. Nice connections there. Good little small corrections on aim. Oh, the fight's on though. EMP used by the Shanghai Dragons now. Gamsu went for the Earth Shadow to try and follow it up, and it worked. Amon and Jinmu were hacked up. Kyo also was unable to use his abilities. Amon yeets that one straight into the shield again. No result from him, and there was a bit of desperation, to be sure, for the Chengdu Hunters, and I don't blame them. Shanghai now looking very scary, and they're about to take this map away. You see right in the back corner there is Young Xiaolong sitting with a Graviton Surge. There needs to be follow-up, and there isn't going to be a lot of it. Young Xiaolong gets bopped immediately, and there it is, King's Row. Shanghai Dragons edge back out in front in this series. 2-1. And 1 map away from taking their first win of stage 2, and they need it by now.
I mean, that map seems close, but it's really not. The Dragons dominated on their offensive attack. 1 map away from taking this series against the Hunters.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
In this series in favor of the Shanghai Dragons. The King's Road looked excellent, Matt. We don't often see teams on the attack sort of deny that entire second phase of the map purely by pushing deep into enemy territory and preventing them from contesting a payload. You leave one player on the payload, let them just sit there for like a minute, get that objective time up. Good as gold.
Maybe they learned that from scrimming the Shock, the Dragons. You know, probably the Shock pushing all the way up into their spawn. They're like, hey, that kind of works. Why don't we try it?
I wonder if we can do it against someone who's not the Shock. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you could definitely see that Super and Sinatra had some insights that they maybe didn't share about their time against the Dragons. So we'd say they're probably, relatively frequent scrim partners. They're playing a lot right now in general, those two teams respectively. So this man on your screen is going to be joining the Watchpoint desk. They're going to have to obviously make it a little bit larger to make room for this guy's bulk, but he's going to be there flexing with the rest of the crew. That'd be really interesting to actually get some thoughts straight from Amon as well, because he's been a player that has just risen in popularity, and he's been pretty quiet about it. He's gone out, he's just achieved. He did make a Twitter account recently, and so it's at Amon OWL, by the way, if you're looking for that. So he's starting to allow himself to be in a spotlight, which is great. So I look forward to hear from him.
And hopefully Bren has no oranges or anything there, potentially cause some harm.
Oh, let's be honest. Amon definitely wanted to squeeze on his head. Who wouldn't? I can't blame the guy. Here's your Zen head-to-heads, and I'm seeing a bit of a disparity between these two here, Matt.
Yeah, I know what, like, I feel like Luffy goes under the radar in terms of Zens. Like, it's really easy when you look at, like, the top teams. You're like, oh, yeah, he's a fantastic Zenyatta player, one of the best in the league. Like, I feel like every time, at least I've watched Shanghai or casted Shanghai, he's really had strong performances all throughout. So, you saw him there on the Ana as well during the match. But I feel like the supports for the Dragons, a very strong core with Luffy and Koma.
No doubt about it. Bacon Jack comes back in here, so Young Xiaolong back to the bench after what I would say has been a pretty successful debut. Saw him flash that McCree pick a little bit earlier on, and Gregory returns. DM back to the bench.
And, like, what team learns a little bit more about the substitutions that come out here? I think it's probably the Hunters. With Gregory coming in, you kind of think that the Dragons want to play either, more triple tank or, at least 2-2-2 as we look now as we go to Junkertown. I don't know what you'll see these teams run. I mean, Bastion, obviously, very strong on offense on Junkertown.
I have to ask some of our pro players about the rise of this Roadhog pick, this little pocket Roadhog that we're seeing a little bit.
Even on ladder, he's played a ton now.
Yeah, Yongjin obviously using it on defense on King's Road to essentially protect, his Widowmaker and stuff like that. We might see it on attack here, but, well, Kyo might want to play it on defense at the Chengdu here.
So, I mean, Roadhog's strengths, I guess, are deterring the flankers, right? Obviously, being extremely survivable alone.
Yep.
Lots of shield pressure, which when you have, like, races with flankers in the game, and you're not really trying to have to dedicate a lot of resources to certain players, it makes sense, the Hog.
Also, of course, the pulled pork combo where the Orisa throws out the Holt and you hook the target getting pulled in. That is open to you with this setup, although it's not the centerpiece of your team comp. Oh, Jinmu. Oh, God, how did I keep him alive? Oh, it may not matter, because Amon just gets completely splattered and ding.
Yeah. I think if you could rewind time 10 seconds, they would have let Jinmu die to keep Amon alive.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's crazy being here in this arena for a match because you can feel the sound of that Bastion minigun in your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
It just creates this rumble where you know that someone's getting slapped around on the battlefield.
This is one of the more frustrating comps to deal with, the one that the Dragons are running with the Baptiste, the Orisa, and the Bastion, especially when you're playing it on offense. Well, look at this.
Yeah, stat amplification matrix being used there, and Amon just gets completely melted down. And for Ding, he hasn't really been pressured much from this position, Matt. Luffy actually had that immortality field dropped on top of him, so...
The celebratory DPI up to 1800 swing around the mouse. So that'll be the first point in favor of the Dragons. Right there, you only had the first use of the Amp Matrix by Luffy, but that was 471 damage amplified. So that's a few eliminations right there just off of that.
Absolutely. And now what the Dragons are trying to do is similar to what we saw on King's Road. They're trying to deny parts of this map away from Chengdu and deny them a chance to set up a defensive foothold. Now, eventually Shanghai are forced back, but that's not the point. The point is that they give time for the payload to push past that annoying high ground part at the start of this area. So everything's going right for Shanghai right now. Self-destruct for Gregory over the top. Nothing found with that one, and Jinmu's going to respond with a Riptide across the breach, but Amon is down, and Ding, it's going to do some work! Baker Jack can hardly peek out. Ding just watched that self-destruct come down. He stays alive. The immortality field working. The amplification matrix wasn't something he could do a lot with. Ding there, cute, trying to go for a little bit of a jump up the top and pick off the Hanzo. Kyo at range there, tries to go for a hook, but the Hunters now are getting flattened.
I'm actually shocked that, like, the kings of, like, the wacky comps are being out wacky comped by the Dragons in a way that the Dragons are throwing interesting looks. Not looks that we haven't seen other teams do, but I guess interesting looks because the Hunters are usually the ones always setting the pace, and they haven't been able to deal with it at all.
Dragon Strike fight on the left side to deny movement, and Ding and Luffy were hiding in wait. Gamsu is able to survive that, but there will be reinforcements from Chengdu to try and extricate him from the situation, and they've done so.
It's kind of wild looking at some of the healing as well for the Dragons with Koma and Luffy. I would say, you know, Baptiste and Mercy both in the main support category. I think Baptiste a little bit different. But when Luffy was playing Baptiste, he had 57% of the team's overall healing, like over 5k healing there at the beginning, which is pretty nuts. More than double a coma.
And remember, amplification matrix boosts his healing as well. So that's sometimes you see these insane peaks in healing done. Remember, you don't get healing stats for people that are full health, right? So it still needs to be on people that have taken damage. Overhealing does not count. Here's a Riptide though. Geggery getting desuited there, and wow, that's pretty mean. As soon as she gets out of the mech, she's blown to smithereens. Jinmu though falls, so Ding is able to find a kill there, but Shanghai are struggling to get a foothold here, Matt. They sort of force the way out of the high ground, but they get themselves a little bit split.
And now it'll be interesting for the Dragons. They go with Gamsu on the Winston, try and get behind this Orisa shield, but now Winston definitely susceptible to get blown up here by the Hanzo, the Junkrat with a Discord orb on him. How do you keep Gamsu alive through all of that?
Oh, yeah.
The bubbles are going to get burst.
Dive setup.
Yeah. All right, so now we change it. So you go over to Reinhardt here. So you bring in the Reinhardt, come and play as you try and just... It's still going to be hard. You're going to have to get the speed boost past the Orisa shield.
Fortunately, Lucio will do that for you. Dragon Strike, though, Baker Jack. There's not really that many places for the Dragons to go to avoid the damage to that. And Gamsu got caught. He couldn't back up because of that Dragon Strike. And now the Hunters are trying to make it a little bit more painful for the Dragons. But Geggery finds Kyo with that self-destruct. Yonjin on Jinmu. Okay, bit of a turnaround here. And the Dragons now have 4 players to push forward with. Geggery straight to the high ground. And all the Hunters have absconded back towards their spawn.
Does that look like a fight originally that was not going to go in the Dragons' favor, but Geggery with his self-destruct, Luffy with one, and Yonjin with another, yeah.
Blown up before he could transcendence. I mean, self-destruct will do that to you. I mean, if you don't realize you're going to get killed by it, you're not going to use your ultimate to get invulnerability.
Yeah. So this is where you see the Hunters not able to play Winston. They opt to play Wrecking Ball with 3 tanks and a Junkrat into this.
Riptide needs to be big. Geggery trying to shut down Jinmu, and she does. So Jinmu gets removed from the fight already. The Riptide does nothing. So that Junkrat really not earning its keep in that previous fight. And Dig is extremely well charged up here and in a great position to get the cleanup done. The Dragons have a huge amount of time in the time bank for Junkertown standards right now, Matt. Yeah. And again, it comes down to the Hunters not having a solid defense on second stage. Or first. Now I think of it. Kyo's down. Earth Shatter there. Catches Evil Tail. See, Baker Jack had his Zarya shield up, so he doesn't get knocked down, but he still gets ganged up on by everybody on the Shanghai Dragons. Amon drops in. Adaptive shield is going to be at max for him there, so we can slink away with a degree of safety. Trying to stall things out. He gets shield bashed and removed from the fight, and there it is, the Shanghai Dragons. A very successful attack here on Junkertown. Push straight through first and second without any real issue, man. I have to say, they look good, and they've got plenty of time in the bank. 2 minutes, 8 seconds.
I mean, really strong first half there on Junkertown. We usually see teams fall apart a bit after the Bastion on the cart doesn't work, but the Dragons able to make the compositional changes. They lose like 1 or 2 fights after that, but I know it's really the fight where Geggery, Yongjin, and Luffy just stay alive on the cart. They're able to kind of power through. They get Kyo before they get the Transcendence off. And that's really the fight that helps propel them over the line.
Well and truly, with time to spare, I think it makes a huge difference. And now the Hunters can go for a pirate ship setup. We've seen that from them before. I don't know if Symmetra is going to be an option for them here. There are some circumstances in which it makes sense. It's a little bit harder on pure escort maps because obviously the map changes around you as you advance. There are some areas that just are great for Symmetra, some that are not good.
Sim here in the open space.
Actually, I have seen in a contenders game, it was actually a while ago, go used in that last area because it's so open, right? Like a barrier there can actually really turn the fight in your favor.
Dude, the Sim ultimate is actually crazy, like in certain scenarios.
Well, it studies as one way.
Yeah.
So you can fire through it. Like, what kind of barrier does that? You can shoot through it, but your opponent can't. That's so unfair. I mean...
all the barriers.
Well, yeah, that's right. But the sheer size of it as well is what makes it so oppressive.
It's like 5,000
But that's correct. You're inside a Winston barrier behind a Rhine shield. He's got like 20k health or something. It's nutty. Anyway, I digress. There'll be a bit of a pirate ship set up for the Chengdu Hunters here with... I mean, a little bit of attention will be on Jinmu. I suppose there's not a lot of healing for Jinmu. There's plenty of self-healing for Kyo. So that Mercy's going to be stuck pretty much to the Bastion. So Bacon Jack may not get a bunch of damage boosting here. It might be all invested in Jinmu.
And the Dragons opt for 3 tanks here and not a second damage dealer. So they have... It's really Geggery. She needs to pressure out Bacon Jack here.
That pick is massive. The Resurrect taken off the table immediately for the Shanghai Dragons. I mean, Bacon Jack...
Yeah, they're super dead.
He just kept Geggery busy the entire time. She couldn't help the rest of her team, and all she was really able to achieve was harassment on Bacon Jack. But, I mean, maybe that was the bait. The rest of the Chengdu Hunters just cut a swath through the Dragons.
I mean, look, you don't have DM in the game, right? Who's playing your Widowmaker? So do you have somebody out there for the Dragons right now that can play the Widowmaker? Or do you keep trying to roll with this?
As it stands, no big changes in the Dragons here. Luffy's Immortality Field didn't really do much for the Dragons previously in the fight. Just got picked off straight away.
But over the course of the game, though, he has prevented 8 deaths with that Immortality Field. So has made an impact.
Again, a hook to start the fight, Matt. Twice now. I questioned that pick for Kyo just because there wasn't much healing available for Jinmu, but he's won them 2 fights with picks.
And I know Gregory did get in use the defense matrix there, but she can't commit a long time because she's going to drop as well.
Oh, Bacon Jack finds the head of Coma. There it is again. The Widow's down. For the Mercy. Well, Mercy is down, and that means no resurrect, although it had just been used by Coma in a prior fight. That's rough. Neither of these teams really able to find their feet defensively on this map, which is not that uncommon. Even some of our best, most defensive teams get to a map like this and then realize that, they keep getting snowballed out of the game.
So the Dragon's answer is triple tank, no Brigitte, and you're going to run the Batiste. So you're going to run Reinhardt. This Reinhardt shield's going to get rocked. It's gone, or yeah.
Yongjin tried to go for an Immortality Field, Matt. It didn't last long. Both Yongjin and Gamsu being down now, so perhaps Gregory could try and interfere with Jinmu somewhat here, but looks like she got desuited there by Elsa's self-destruct. She may not have been expecting that at all, and Chengdu have hardly had a break in stride across this map.
So I feel bad for Gamsu. We've all been that Reinhardt player at home. He comes down the spawn, puts his shield up, and then all you hear is like that his shield is breaking.
Just a sigh of resignation. Your team's screaming at you, shield us. I'm like, well.
Yeah, and they try to keep him alive using like the Immortality Field, Defense Matrix, but it's just too much damage. Nice high ground control here, yeah.
We don't see this very much at all. Usually this stays on the payload.
How do you cross if you're the Dragons?
You wait for the right time to walk across.
Oh, nice.
The platformer, but Gregory finds the pick there. It's only a resurrect back on a Jinmu, and Bacon Jack's finding kills in the background. First Luffy, then Yongjin. 2 supports have fallen to the Widow's Kiss. And now Jinmu gets to sit back up on the payload again and just keep spewing bullets at the Dragons, the Hunters here. I mean, talk about a triple threat. Kyo, Bacon Jack, Jinmu, all deadly in different parts of the map.
I mean, you're trying to get the Bastion off of the card or off of the high ground, and that requires Gregory to jump and use the defense matrix, but does not allow her to go up and contest the Widowmaker. It's very difficult. There's no real great answer for this.
Bacon Jack with 9 final blows so far. Nasty. Yongjin, okay, so the Immortality Field is down. Yongjin does fall. Gregory goes for the chase on Bacon Jack and finds the kill, but there's a mercy here, of course, for the Hunters. They've been leveraging that extensively. Look at the Earthshatter. Gamsu can't follow up on it because they didn't hit Jinmu. Finally, they're able to charge the Bastion down and get rid of him. Finally, a chance to take a breath. The Hunters may not be able to continue with the Bastion play here, but knowing them, they probably try for one more fight. No, Jinmu, very disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them be very disciplined the other day as well. They switch off of it even though they had the Bastion ultimate, so they're going to go with the standard on them. They're going to play they're deciding, okay, Jinmu switches between Batiste and Brigitte a few times, decides to play the Batiste, so doesn't see the Brigitte on the other side, wants to get an Immortality Field of his own.
Shadow there. I think it was from the backside. Gamsu tried to just throw that in after he dropped down. Didn't find much. Sound barrier for the Dragons, so this might help them a little bit. Immortality Field being stretched to its very limits for the Chengdu Hunters, and finally it buckles under the pressure. So much damage for the Dragons was available sort of even late in that fight, and that partly is the work of Ding after Bacon Jack sort of fell about midway through.
Yes, Gamsu tries to go for like a flanking shatter, and when he turns the corner, it's like, you know, Amen's so far ahead, but Bacon Jack is what he's like trying to line up with Amen, but Bacon Jack had a personal bubble as Zarya, so pops it right away. So didn't get knocked down by that. It'll be a self-destruct here to open things up from Gregory. Connects with Jinmu, gets rid of the Immortality Field. That's any type of push the Hunters would have had.
And that's big. It's a fight one with a self-destruct where there weren't like a bunch of other abilities used to set it up. In fact, Jinmu wasn't really being touched at the time in the fight. He just couldn't escape from it. The placement from Gregory was really good and it was very fast. There was a sound barrier to start that off. So the Hunters were like, well, I guess we're dead.
I mean, she's had a fantastic 4th game. leads the lobby in eliminations, leads the lobby in final blows, 4 self-destruct kills.
Good day for Gagery so far. Yongjin goes down to Kyo early here, and interesting amplification matrix use there before the Dragons had really chose to commit to the fight. No more picks for free for the Hunters though. Jinmu just lobbing grenade after grenade in to keep his team nice and healed up, and that's the Transcendence force that aloofing. And yet the Hunters still don't back away, Matt. You'd think they just disengage here with a Lucio on the team, but they just keep going forward. They might have walked right into a trap though in doing so. Gamsu charges Bacon Jack down. He's very healthy still. The Transcendence of the Hunters wasn't enough to keep their main source of damage alive, and Ding now could just sit up the top and laser engrave his name into the backs of the Hunters' heads. 1 minute 33 on the clock. The Dragons are now ahead in time bank and are looking very solid after getting washed out of the rest of the map.
I mean, they're pretty healthy in Ultimatus too. They'll have a rally, a self-destruct. They're going to end up having a sound barrier as well. As we can take a look at Gamsu here.
So do you go aggressive? Yeah, see, I don't know, man. They force the Transcendence. They still want to go aggressive. That lets Gamsu just walk past the shield of Amon and hit a huge shatter. Oh, there's another one, by the way. Okay, yeah, a 5-man shatter. British Shanghai Dragons. Oh, the Hunters are going to feel that one in their bones. Their children are going to feel that in their bones on a cold day. That was brutal.
So they use the grab of Bacon Jack. Big shatter from Gamsu. The last one, it was actually, he got by the shield of Amon because Amon actually shattered his own. So he was trying to follow up his own shatter, and Gamsu was like, yeah, sure, I'll take advantage of this.
Gamsu, I mean, he got that wrinkly brain when it comes to the Reinhardt matchup. Okay, that's a sound barrier. Everyone from Chengdu gets that one. Interesting, very early immortality field, though. They didn't need it at the time. They had overshield from the sound barrier. So now it's a Transcendence here from Kyo. Koma holding his sound barrier. Despite having lost Yongjin, the Dragons are still in a decent spot. Yongjin, he's going to return to the Bastion. This is going to be really nasty. The Hunters are not going to be ready for this switch here. And they might just be walking straight into it. The Shanghai Dragons try and play fairly cannily so far, a little bit cunning. And there it is, Yongjin's in a great position. He needs to move from Elsa's self-destruct, but he'll pop back out in the open with Amon down. Elsa just getting melted. That's going to be it. And the Shanghai Dragons will take Junkertown. And they'll take the series, getting their first win in Stage 2. Well-deserved after a couple of rough games. And the tables get turned on the Chengdu Hunters. They get a taste of the Romenicin map, and they don't know how to read the prescription.
Yeah, in this 4th map, Ding throughout the whole series was tremendous. He casted some games, he had some rough ones. This was a tremendous series from him. Then Gagery here, our final map. She, like I said, leads the lobby, 51 limbs, 19 final blows, tied for the lead with Ding. Real difference maker coming in off the bench for the 4th map.
4th map for Gagery, really impressive, especially after coming back off of the bench, being subbed in and out sometimes. It can be hard to sort of find your rhythm. But the Diva play looked very good. Gagery reminding us who the Frog Queen is and why Diva is still so damn powerful. The Chengdu Hunters, there was a couple openings there, but you have to feel so good. Look at the smile. You have to feel great. When you slow down a team who's just blitzing through the map, you bring them to a screeching halt, and then you just choke them out and win the map.
And I think the Dragons have to know their next few games are definitely winnable. Like, this could be the start of a really impressive win streak from the Dragons.
Let's head down now to the floor. Danny has an interview for us with Ding.
Thank you guys very much. What is up, everybody? I am here with Ding from Shanghai Dragons. Everybody make some noise. Congratulations. Awesome job today. Now, during halftime, I got to talk to your team, Ding, and they told me that, they admitted that Chengdu Hunters were a very unpredictable team, and you guys sort of had a difficulty in map 2 Paris, but after that, you guys completely dominated them. How did you sort of figure them out after halftime? 자, 아무래도 좀 청두 팀이 좀 예측하기 힘든 플레이와 좀 그런 조합을 많이 써서 파리에서는 조금 힘들어하셨던 것 같은데 그 다음에는 굉장히 수월하게 잘 풀어 나가셨던 것 같아요. 딩 선수 좀 어떻게 좀 해석을 잘 하시게 된 것 같나요? 그 청두 팀에 대해서.
솔직히 파리는 뭔가 입구가 좁아서 힘들 건 예측했는데 그 다음은 다른 맵들은 다 넓어가지고 좀 할만했던 것 같아요.
Honestly, because Paris has a very narrow entrance and narrow pathway, I kind of predicted that we're going to have a sort of a hard time. But after that, map 3 and map 4, all the entrances or all the fighting points were very broad and large. So I feel like that was a big factor of us winning. All right, and also, Ding, I feel like things are looking a lot better for the Shanghai Dragons after today's victory. How are you going to keep this momentum keep on going and also sort of make it into the stage 2 playoffs? 자, 오늘의 좀 승리로 상하이 팀이 좀 굉장히 좀 좋은 자리에 있는 것 같아요. 어떻게 하면 상하이 팀이 좀 계속해서 이 기세를 몰아가서 스테이지 2 플레이오프 때까지 좀 이렇게 잘 갈 수 있을까요?
한 번만 더 말씀해 주세요.
스테이지 2 플레이오프 때까지 어떻게 좀 잘 이 기세를 몰아갈 수 있을까요?
기분 안 좋은 것보다 뭔가 웃으면서 게임하면은 계속해서 이길 것 같습니다.
Whether we win or lose, I feel like the most crucial part is just having fun and having a positive attitude. And if we have that, I'm sure we could make it all the way to the stage 2 playoffs. All right, everybody, give it up for Ding one more time. Uber and Mr. X, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Danny, and thank you to Ding. It's nice to be reminded sometimes why we got started with all this in the first place.
Positive vibes only.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Great stuff from the Shanghai Dragons. Look, we mentioned Gagri looked fantastic, although Gamsu dominated the Reinhardt matchup, especially in that last one. But let's now have a look at who our player of the match, brought to you by HB is. And this one was for consistency over the entire map. It has definitely got to be Ding. He opened up. His Pharah was so dominant, especially on that first map, Matt.
Look, they had no answer for his Pharah. I know that the hit scan play today for the Chengdu Hunters was not up to the par of taking care of Ding's Pharah playing Junkrat here, like you see on King's Row. Big difference maker in that hero, and then also you see the Bastion here in the final map. He had a really sick series all throughout.
No doubt about it. And I think both of these teams feature Pharah players that are very highly regarded, right? Jinmu versus Ding. I think we got to see the better of the two, at least on the day. Ding, especially on King's Row, when those two were actually going head-to-head, he looked very, very good. Look at this. Only 8 deaths across the entire series is Pharah.
Yeah, 10 barrage kills. So you figure all 8 of his deaths came during barrage. No, I'm kidding. Usually you just end up dying during the barrages.
It is sometimes press Q to respawn after maybe getting one enemy person.
Yeah.
That is kind of the way it works. Hey guys, coming up after this, the games might be over, but Watchpoint is just about to get started. We've got a whole bunch of fun stuff. And looking back over the day, a fond view, the Los Angeles Valiant getting their final star in the stage 2. They've got to be happy about that one. And of course, the Yotta Chad himself will be joining the desk on the